Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Out of Boston here. Today I'm back for episode number 16 of my Tampa Bay Rays series here on Out of the Park Baseball 18. So today we've got the midseason update for 2020. We're off to a great start so far, 40-13. One of the best records in baseball so far, although the Dodgers battling us for that best record. They're actually only at .001 points behind us. Although they've played a bunch more than us, actually. They played like 3 games more than us, 4 games more than us. So we have 40 wins, they have 43, but we are one ahead of them in the loss column. We've won 12 in a row, and we have just been playing phenomenal baseball for the most part. We got hot at the beginning, tailed off a little bit, and then have sort of caught fire again here lately. We're playing 4 runs better than our expected win-loss, but coming off of last year, coming off of that run to the World Series, we've pretty much just carried that momentum into the regular season. We've got a couple guys banged up, one of them out for the season, one of them out for a shorter term or a shorter period of time. But Roberto Osuna tore an elbow ligament. It said he had a stretched elbow ligament when he actually went down, but he goes down for 9 to 10 months, so he's out for the year. He was having a good season, had only thrown 10 2/3 innings, but 8 strikeouts, 1 walk in those 10 2/3 innings, and it pitched to the tune of a 1.69 ERA. Norris, who has been having a very good year, just went down recently with a mild shoulder strain. He'll be back in 3 days. He was actually only day-to-day, so he could have pitched through it, but I decided to hold him out. He had been pitching so well, I didn't want to mess with it. You can see he's up to a 2.68 ERA so far this year, and that's been the story of the team so far, I think, has been the pitching of him and Chris Sale. Sale has had a crazy year, pretty much a similar year to the one he's having in real life. Not as many strikeouts, but pitching, I think his FIP is like 2.4, and then in real life his ERA is a lot higher than his FIP. In this one, his ERA is almost a run lower than his FIP, but out to the pace of an 11.5. Well, I mean, that's not going to continue most likely, but still, he's pitching phenomenal. We are riding that while we can, and we've had some good offensive performances from guys. A lot of swapping out of the lineup. It seems like Chris Davis has, for the most part, been relegated to the bench as of late. Only 28 starts compared to all of our prominent lefties at this point getting much more consistent starts. Even Rizzo, who can only play first base, now that he's getting hot. But Gillespie has been hot. Rojas has been a little bit disappointing so far. We'll see if he turns it on. Not like his ratings have diminished or anything, so I'm sure he'll get it going at some point. Tellez has been playing really well, getting on base a lot more than he has been in past seasons. That's a big difference. The infield has been solid. Jose Ramirez, Urena got off to a really good start and then has tailed off a little bit, but he's putting up close to what he did last year. So, you'll take that out of him. He was almost a 3-win shortstop last year. Ibanez had gotten off to a hot start. He's still playing really well. In the outfield, Kiermaier and Jake Bauers having really, really good years. Kiermaier has tailed off a little bit from his hot offensive start, but Bauers is still mashing coming off of last year, and then Bella's gotten hot recently. He was off to a bit of a slow start, but now turning it on. So really, we're just getting great all-around baseball at this point. 6th in runs scored, 1st in runs against, and I can honestly see our runs scored number going up. But look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers playing equally as well as us, 1st in the NL in runs scored and 4th in runs against. And it's just the same guys, man. It's Seager. It looks like Harper's actually hurt right now, but he'll be back in a couple of days. Urias is also down, and this Christian Stewart, this corner hitting outfielder who I had potential trades for on the table during the offseason, but I decided against it. But, they're pretty much stacked as always. So we've got the first-year player draft, enough ogling over these 2 super teams in the league right now, and looking like it could be a potential. Now, obviously, baseball, much more random playoffs than basketball, so it's by no means a guarantee that will be the World Series, but it would definitely be the favorite matchup at this point, both far and away the best teams in their respective leagues. So looking at the draft prospects, this looks like, even though the OSA ratings aren't really a big fan, he looks like the only guy really worth drafting. This guy has good power rating. Ooh, maybe this Mike Straub guy. And then I saw a good reliever back there, a couple half-decent relievers. This guy looks like maybe decent starter. So a couple different guys we could take with this pick. No one really spectacular. No one stands out. I think we'll go with this Paradis guy and just hope that our scouting director, Theo Epstein, is doing his job. See if any of the other guys are available. I think they all got picked. So maybe we just go with that reliever. We also have this starter. I think I'll draft the starter. He's an impossible side. So let's get the reliever right now. And then get this guy. and then I'm going to auto-draft the rest of it. So that was not a very good draft. We didn't have a lot of good players available to us. And our farm system is kind of thinned out. I'd say when we took over, it was deep with a lot of players who we didn't really know if they were going to be good players. But they had a lot of players with the potential of being solid everyday players, good players. And then we've added to that. I mean, we added a lot of young players like Ibanez, Urena. But, guys like Bowers. We obviously added Josh Bell, but Bowers, Gillespie. Those were products of the farm system, especially pitching-wise. DeLeon was already here. Honeywell, Snell. So right now it's definitely thinned out. A lot of that talent has seeped to the major league level, and our top prospects are, not high ceiling guys. We have that Kevin Dunn, who I'm still thinking could be a productive player for us. Cal Conley has the chance to be a good player. Eason Sabalo, the guy we signed, who's like the first international guy we signed, maybe could still be a good everyday catcher, maybe. But other than that, I mean, it's just not a ton with our farm system. So could be a little bit tough to make trades as we approach the deadline if we want to make big upgrades. But at this point, it doesn't seem like we need to. I mean, Faria is going to be replaced here in a couple of days. And he hasn't actually been terrible. That's 2 straight solid starts out of him. Actually, 3 straight. He had, oh no, yeah, that's AAA. What am I saying? So yeah, 2 straight solid starts out of him in place of Daniel Norris. So we're back at the beginning of the international free agent signing period, and things starting to come off the rails a little bit for us. We've lost, I want to say 8 or 9 games in a row. Okay, 6 games in a row. Not quite as bad as I thought, but we've suffered a rash of injuries, including another long-term one. Daniel Norris out for 4 months. He had been pitching so well, and he looks like he's going to be out for the year now. 4 months. Could come back right at the end of the playoffs, maybe, but Casey Gillespie also out for 3 to 4 weeks with a fractured rib, and then Kiermaier had a strained hamstring. It was getting worse. It went from minimal to moderate, so I just decided to put him on the DL. He'd been having a good year, so of course he gets hurt every year. I can't believe he played 157 games last year. That seems unreal. He had only played 90 in the previous 2 seasons for us, but anyway, and he has a bit of an injury history in real life. Let's check out the international amateurs, the amateurs, and no one worth signing apparently. So I'd originally decided not to sign this guy, the guy that I drafted in the 3rd round. I think I'm still not going to. I just want to save that money to add to the major league roster, especially now that we're down a starting pitcher and a reliever for the long term now. That concerns me deeply because we're probably going to need to add, I was thinking already, add another reliever, and now I feel like we might need another starter. I don't know if DeLeon is going to be ready to step into that 3rd, 4th starter role. We'll see, though. He's pitched okay so far. And we'll see how Buck Farmer does in that 5th starting spot. That will also sort of depend. I mean, I would never want to start Buck Farmer in a playoff game, but if you only got to choose one to, if you can only get a reliever or a starter, and you feel good about the 5 guys you have, I think I'd lean more towards getting a reliever. And all right, so Theo doesn't want to be our scouting director anymore. That's fine. Butterfield, we obviously want to extend. He's been a great hire as our manager. And Porterfield, he's probably fine as a trainer. He's been our trainer the whole time. We could possibly do better. So we started to stabilize a little bit, play a little bit better as of late. We've got the all-star rosters announced. I do want to see, I'd say we have a couple guys probably who are going to get selected this year. Chris Sale, one of them, of course, he's off to the great start this year. And Blake Snell, the number 2 on our staff, having a breakout year of sorts, still walking a lot of guys, although less than he has in the past. And the other peripherals are looking nice. He's on pace for a 5-win season, so that is awesome to see. We also have Mike Moore in out of the bullpen. Luis Rojas making a late all-star push. He had that slow start offensively. He's been hot lately now. Only 10 home runs, but the slash line looking pretty nice, providing solid defense behind the dish. And those are our all-star representatives. How many did the Dodgers get? Just out of curiosity, I see 3 so far. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 all-stars, 9, 10. Did I count 10 all-stars for the Dodgers? Okay, I just counted again, and I counted 11. 11 All-Stars for the Dodgers. What's their record? 69-22. Oh my god. And there are other good teams too. The Cubs and Mets are also really good teams. The Rangers and Astros are also already good, really good teams. The Yankees. It's a very top-heavy league this year. Interesting. So we've gotten up to July 26th, 62-33, and it's time to start thinking about moves to make. So one guy I've been shopping around is Casey Gillespie, who just now is eligible to come off of the DL. And the thing about him is, if I activate him, I likely have to send Trace Thompson back down, and I don't really want to do that the way he's been playing. Thompson already offers us an advantage over Chris Davis, and that Thompson can play center field. So Kiermaier can get a day off here and there. He can also get spotted against a lefty if need be. And the rest of our corner guys have just been playing too well to take out of the lineup. Bell, Tellez, and Rizzo, and Bowers, of course. So Gillespie likely wouldn't come back as a starter anyway. So I'm ready to move on from him. I'm ready to use him as that trade chip to get us another starter, another reliever, something of the like. And so far, the best name to come up has been Carlos Martinez. Now let's finish going through the list here. Some good names offered to us, some solid starters. I mean, deals that have been on the table for a while. Jake Thompson, a guy that I thought about getting in the offseason. He's kind of struggled. And then there was another half-decent option I found from, who was it? Not Salazar. Fulmer offered to us, who's coming off of an injury. He's been used out of the bullpen for Chicago and not look that good. The thing that Thompson and Fulmer offer is, cost control and the fact that it only costs $500,000. If we were to get a Carlos Martinez, he's locked up on kind of an expensive contract. He makes 11.5 this year and next year, and then 17 the year after that. Obviously, if he bounced back and was a good starter for us, he would be worth that kind of money. But the past few years, he hasn't really been that great of a pitcher. I think, new environment, stuff like that, I think he could be better. And he's still been putting up 3-win seasons. So, something out of the, just to replace Norris, to replace De Leon, I think Martinez would be the best bet. I mean, we're looking at somebody who's going to have to pitch Game 4 of the playoffs for us. So, I think we just have more faith that can be Martinez. That guy can give us a better start if it's Martinez than there's this Aaron Blair guy, too, who's having a really good year for Toronto, although it seems like he's been really bad in the past. That's surprising. It's surprising that you can go from, look how bad he was. He's giving up over 2.3 and then 2.4 home runs per 9 over, a 32 start sample. I guess some of that was with Atlanta, but now he's not that bad, but BABIP is really low. I think I'm just gonna take on Martinez. It's financially, I mean, this is why we have freed ourselves up. Over the last couple of years, we've spent cautiously to be able to do a trade like this. And it seems like we can also get St. Louis to eat some of this money. I'm not going to go beyond, I don't want to do this too unrealistically. Let's just say 50%. I'm fine with that. So that's 50%. That doesn't include the option year. So that means likely we probably weren't going to pick out that option anyway. But so now it's only the remainder of the 5.75 and then 5.75 next year and $9 million the year after that. That's much more affordable for us, even if he is at the back end of our rotation. So we give up Casey Gillespie, cost-controllable first baseman for them. And I think this is a good deal. The only thing is, can we get a reliever as a throw-in? Like an AJ Ramos, a veteran who is a free agent after next year. I could see, even though he hasn't been good for them this year, I could see us picking him up. Who else on this roster? I see Brett Cecil could be a good lefty for us. So they have some relief options we could try to get in a trade. All right, so we're able to get Brett Cecil as a throw-in. We don't even have to give them anything else. He's a free agent at the end of the year, a left-handed option out of the pen. So the only thing is, the other offer I had on the table that was kind of intriguing for Gillespie was from the Diamondbacks, and it was for Jake Lamb, another good player who would involve taking on a little bit of money. He's under contract, but he makes, pretty cheap money, pretty short dollars, and has been really good this year, good power bat at third base. So we could play him at third and move Ramirez to shortstop to replace the struggling Arena. And we don't really have options at shortstop past Arena is the thing, unlike in previous years when we've had Alan Hansen. So, it's interesting to see what we'll do at shortstop, but I think I want to just make the Martinez trade. Getting Martinez and Cecil plugs 2 holes for us, which I like. So we're going to do this deal. I'm not interested enough in Jake Lamb, but All right, so Farmer's been really good in the 4 starts he's made. Not saying he's going to keep it up, but we're going to ride it while it lasts. So I think I'd rather send down Faria in favor of Martinez, but unless Martinez can pitch today, we have to keep Faria up for at least a day, and he cannot pitch today. He just won a couple days ago. Cecil, we can activate immediately and send... We just called Joe Barrett up. We could send Biagini down. Maybe we'll just give it a few days and see. I want to give Barrett at least a little bit of a shot. He had been pitching in Durham, and I guess he had not actually been pitching that well, so maybe I should just send him down in favor of Brett Cecil. All right, I'm going to make a small trade with the Houston Astros for this guy, Ramiro Rodriguez, who looks like he could be potentially a pinch runner for us in the playoffs. That's really all I'm thinking with this trade, / outfield depth, but we're giving up nothing for him. He came up in a trade me offers or whatever, the trade finder for, I don't even remember who it was that I shopped. I think it was one of my minor league guys. So the final sort of move I'm thinking about making at this trade deadline is flipping Jose Trevino for an infielder or, some sort of piece like that. I just think Trevino doesn't really offer any long-term or short-term value to us with the way Rojas has sort of solidified himself. He hasn't played spectacular, but it's pretty unlikely that he's not going to be my starting catcher for the next few years. So Trevino, the best he can be for us is a backup, but he's probably worthy of starting somewhere. He could be that good. He hasn't hit that well for us this year, but he probably has enough ability as a defender. And, obviously he has those good leadership. That's the thing about trading him is that it could sort of mess up our bench or our locker room, our chemistry or whatever. But I think offering us another option for an infielder, in a pinch, we could slide Jose Ramirez over to shortstop, play a guy like Travis Demeritte, I don't know, however you say his name. At second or third, we could play Micah Johnson at second or third. There are guys being offered to us that I think might be a little bit more serviceable to this team than Trevino. And Trevino can't really play the infield. If he could play the infield, he doesn't really turn. I don't think he has the arm to play third base. That would be the spot for him, though, is third base. But still, I think I'm going to trade for the guy from Atlanta, Demeritte. I'm going to hope that's how you pronounce his name. Even though he strikes out a bunch, still think in a pinch he might be able to provide us some better ABs than offensively solid, yeah. So, and it's just if we want to go away from Urena at some point during a playoff series, it's just a better depth option than anyone we have. I'd rather be able to get him for less than Trevino. That would be ideal. But it seems like that's like the bare minimum we're going to have to give up. All right, I was wrong. I was able to poo-poo platter my way to this player with 2 4A guys and possibly Jake Barrett, but yeah, actually I'm going to give up 3 4A guys to get this guy. Sweet. So go me, just got some sweet infield depth. Probably call him up over Brandon Lowe. And there we go. Send Faria down to AAA, and I think that's pretty much going to be what we do. So let's advance one more day. We got 25 guys on the roster, correct? Yes. So we got Snell on the mound for this first game against Houston. Game number 100 on the season, coming on deadline day. And Snell, who has been very good as of late. Let's see how he does to close out the month. Ooh, we lose 1-0. Offense not getting it done. Snell pitching well at the very least. 7 innings, 1 run. But all right, that is going to do it. So, wow, man, Snell's stats are looking really good. Did I see that right? His control's up to 55. Ooh. He is looking like a very, very fine pitcher for us. And Sale still having a really good year. He's still on pace for more than 7 wins. So, being a beast. And Martinez looked good in his first start for us. 8 innings, 2 runs, only 4 strikeouts. We'll see how he does. I hope that he can stabilize for us, the 3-4 spot. I think if these are our 4 arms going into a postseason series, I feel relatively good, especially with our 1-2. And then hopefully we can win, one of the Honeywell Martinez starts, and if we won Sale and Snell, we would, that puts us up 3-1 right there, whether it be a 3 or 4 game series or a 5 or 7 game series. I mean, best of 5, best of 7. But anyway, and I'm really glad that I made those signings, or I claimed those guys, Buck Farmer and Jacob Faria, off waivers. That's really coming in handy. These 2 guys, having them. Farmer's been good. Faria, we're just gonna have to plug in there with the 5th starter spot for the rest of the year. unless we see another good guy on waivers. But other than that, team playing really well. 64 or 66 and 34. What's our expected run differential right now? Yep, 64 and 36. So that is good to see. Looks like it's sustainable success for the most part. That is going to do it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching. And as always, I am out. Peace.